Alright, so you guys forgot to remind me on US 10 I wanted to buy a factory with all that extra money I had. I got so excited about buying a battleship I forgot I wanted a factory on land. Anyways, so as expected, he's going to try and take advantage of that disaster that happened in Persia last turn. I believe I'm still going to be able to hold India, but he's coming down and going to be funneling a lot in. So I'm going to be able to hold India at least a turn or two, maybe, because my logistics are out of line, because I was hoping to just take Persia last turn. Anyways, or at least wipe out his units. That means I'm out of line for shucking as well. I can get 4 infantry over from these guys if I need to, and I also got 5 fighters that Americans can bring in if need to, uh, on a pinch if he decides to go for a 1-2 right now. But I looked at, what if I built 3 fighters for UK here, but I don't think I need to go that route quite yet. I looked at the AA since he's got 9 air here. An extra AA would be good, but I don't even need to quite go to that defensive step yet. Next turn, when he moves all these Japan units in, we'll see. So the good news of this positioning he's got is these bombers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as long as I take these 2 side ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't need any protection for my transports over here. So that's the good news, is he left it open for me as long as I take them. So we're going to take those and take advantage of the bomber positioning to my advantage. Now later, what he's probably going to realize is he could put his bombers here, here, or here, threaten the Atlantic, and still be able to hit India. So I've got a feeling I'm going to see these bombers come back. Now he may need to keep the fighters up towards the front, but the bombers probably going to come on back at some point. But for this turn at least, I get to take advantage of that. Putting him there, he can threaten 34 and 35. He can't really get down into any of the rest of this from that position though. The other part that's going to come as they start to get some Japan territory in here, that's going to give some landing zones and make things a little bit more awkward getting to Africa. So, we're going to at least get the U.S. troops and one transport of UK down here into Africa now. Can't do the 13 for free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the 4 of them, I could, bring in the ships and some air, and drop a pair of units there this turn. But I think I'm just going to go to South Africa and keep these guys up here ready and frosty to help prevent anything down, in Sea Zone 5. I'm going to have my subs coming in now, so they're going to help dead zone the port at least. And again, just a reminder, KJF Axis has to get off the mainland. They have to get a fleet somewhere and take an island somewhere. So if we can shut off the ports, that's a huge part of the win condition for allies. All right, so Germany bought 15 infantry, so they're buckling down. We're getting ready to buckle in for the long game here. Took Finland and France, pretty straightforward. Otherwise, shuffled his units around like he said. Like I said, he does have his a couple of Germans coming this way, which is going to start to create a little more pressure on this front for the Americans because we are very thin there. So purchasing, I decided I want to go I need to get some offensive power for UK while I can, because it's a possibility that we lose this India in a couple rounds. Hopefully not, but it's possible. So I want to get some offensive power in there while I can. So instead of buying the defensive units, artillery are kind of defensive. I'm buying 3 artillery plop in there, and then we're gonna get oh, I still got an AA marked off. Well, shoot, I can adjust that. I was originally playing with having the AA built, so yeah, I'm gonna adjust my spending a little bit. I actually wanted one more unit for up in Britain, and I can actually get a couple of these guys in here, and that'll give me a little more reinforcements. So we'll go 5 infantry, 5 artillery. I did buy a fighter as well. The extra 5 points doesn't quite get me up to the point of being able to buy a fighter, unfortunately. Because I would buy 2 fighters if I could. But this will give us some units to put back into the Britain as well. So he built 15 ground. Good to note. I like to kind of keep track of this. So he built 15 ground troops with Germany. I'm building 10 with the UK, and my US should far outbuild the number of ground that he builds for Japan. So we should have advantage us, which is what we want to see slowly over time, building more units so that we can take the tide. All right, nothing we can attack down here. Since you know what, we're gonna take this slightly still because he still has a lot of air that can hit there. Let's save our units. Ah, ah. I still, to this day, get frustrated by the UI with transports. Give me 1 transport now. 1 more transport. There we go. Double check this. 3 and 1, good. And that should be 1 infantry, good. And then we're going to bring these 2 guys on down to South Africa with some planes. Oi. After a few years of playing this, you'd think I'd be better at that whole transport thing. Just get these. I'd love to have a lot of extra guys laying here. 2 hits right off the bat would be nice. Oy. I'm counting on taking this. It was like a 93%. Oh boy. This is gonna mess with my plans. Come on. Yes. Come on, 1 more. I think that leaves me backups for him. Last transport. No. I am struggling this morning here. Everything down here looks good. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a stack of planes down here. Why here, not here? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, they can get to India next turn. Now, I'm not going to hit the end phase right now because I'm going to actually go back and do some math and see if I can figure out just exactly how many fighters I might need UK-12 to hold the next round. Because if I can leave a couple of these fighters up here so that they can help with the offensive, then I'd like to do that. We're building 1 fighter, but if I could leave a couple more, I would like to do that because he's going to move his stack and probably stack France and Germany next turn. But in any case, so that's what I'm going to do. The last thing I'm going to do off video. We'll see what it looks like. You should be able to see next time by how many fighters I have here and how many fighters I have down here. I do got to be careful of the fact that he can't have his tank come, and these bombers can go 3, so he can have a tank and 2 bombers. So I want to make sure I got enough to be reasonable defense and then still be able to get some over here. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so hopefully I got the screen issue fixed here, and it's recording well. I apologize about that before. Japan here, 5 infantry artillery bomber. The 6th ground went on the middle of the bomber went over here in Tokyo. Blitzed the tank through, took Sichuan and took Sinkang and Sichuan. Notice he put a pretty big stack here in Sinkang. I think I'm still going to build a factory for Manchuria. I mean, it's a little iffy just because, you know, he's got this stack coming here and he will be able to bomb and then blitz his tank through, which is a little bit of a stinker, but I still think it's going to be worth taking it there. So, and going ahead and building it, because even if he does take it, it's going to go to Japan, whether Germany or Japan gets it. And so that's just another factory Japan has that they probably won't be able to use too much of. Although again, they are still getting quite a bit of income, so I'm leaning towards it. In any case, since I can't really do a whole lot of picking up of the units, so I got extra units sitting on the land, so I got some extra money to spend. So I'm going to buy it this turn, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I'm going to take some risky-ish moves this turn. We're going to see how it all plays out. Probably not a good idea after I took my risky-ish turn there and got just walloped. But I really want to get Japan under control, and although I do got units coming, I just don't even want them to get the extra income down here right now. So let's see what we can do. In any case, so we're going to buy that factory. I'm going to buy a couple air, 4 infantry, 4 artillery, and hopefully from here we'll start dumping land pretty regularly. Still worried about India coming in. He didn't, because he is moving here, it's taking a little bit off of India, so we'll see how all that plans out. Gonna loop him around. I'm gonna try and airstrike his units over here. Like I said, maybe not the smartest thing, but we're gonna try it nonetheless. Because I'm putting the unit and I want to get back in here and get as many units as I can, because he'll be able to airstrike and blitz a tank through, presuming the bombers clear the infantry. With all that in mind, I know he can take it back, and I'll just have to lose it briefly. But when he takes it back, but we're gonna take out the land and bring these guys back. Alright. About time we got some lucky dice in here again. I was thinking about only taking one, glad I took two. Alright, that was his hit back. No more hitbacks. He's gonna get a 4 on this one. There we go. 4, 4, 4. I'm feeling the 4, feeling the 4, feeling the 4. Oh, 3. I'll take it still. It was a tank that was going to get the 4. That's what it was. Imposing my will on the dice. Good, we got the hit and the 4. Oh, yes. All right. I am very happy with that. You can reach there. 4. Be able to hit any of those, so I just need to get him under protection as best as we can. And we'll have the UK moving in, so. I was thinking that was a 3 move. Okay. Alright, well, anyways. Protect the fighter, protect Manchuria. Protect the fighter, protect Manchuria. Here. So we're going to have 8, 10, 12. I got my 4 guys here that can grab them. Got my 2 here that can grab them next turn. Bring him here just because it's a little more safer. Oop, got my last carrier here. And these guys, this Navy battle is a 50-50. There's only 2 transports in there, but this battle is going to be a little bit better. I do need to make sure I got my fighter before carrier defense profile. Good. Get those guys coming around. And he can blitz and hit those, but if he doesn't, that'll give me the best attack power to reclaim envoy there. Alright. That's it. Alright. Coming in here on UK 12, Germany 12. He bought 14 infantry, 1 artillery, still playing the ground game, which is respectable. Combat move, He had 2 infantry, tried to do a 2-on-1 on Northwest Europe. He did not succeed there, and then he just demolished France as it is. So no losses from me. He lost 1 infantry and then retreated. Of course, he killed an artillery and infantry and only lost 1 infantry, but of course that's now stacked. France and Berlin are both stacked sea zones. And the fact that I've already got these 3 means there's not a whole lot for UK to do picking apart, because I can't really come in here to Baltic because he's got enough air, 9 air here, and I can't build any boats in there. So he's safe there. The interesting thing was leaving Persia. So he came out of Persia. I put this factory here, if you remember on US. I think that just said a beacon of light. Oh, let's go grab that. Even if he does get it, it's going to be Japan's, because that's a Japan territory that he'd be liberating, and Japan doesn't need any more factory space. So I'm not, although I'm going to defend it, I'm not super concerned about that. Him coming out of here now leaves me with 17 land, as well as my air here can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to hit his 15 units here. And I'm actually only going to bring 2 of these fighters, and just to show I'm not going crazy here, just double checking: 11 infantry, 1 artillery, 1 fighter, 2 bombers versus 12 infantry, 4 artillery, 1 tank, 2 fighters. Should be a very profitable battle for me. And that's with bombers going later, so I put the bombers earlier. It's a better defense, but still should be easily in my favor. So he has lost Persia in essence, because if I take it with UK, sure, he's got a few Japan that can come in here, but then the Americans can trade them back. If I see him doing that, I'm now unloading my units wherever I need to go to then defend India if Germany turned around and changed their mind. Meanwhile, he brought his tanks back up here to Karelia, which is fine. I never really was trying to threaten Karelia. I was just grabbing some income here. These guys are essentially dead if I do nothing for them. I talked about planning an evacuation for them. I'm going to continue to plan an evacuation for them, but I don't want to let him just blitz through and get it all in one turn. I want to make him work for it. So that's what I'm going to do. So all that said, the other thing that I since I don't have a lot of effective things to do with my UK Navy this turn, I think I want to go ahead and clear out Gibraltar, because this does create some headaches where the German bombers can reach here and then get back to Gibraltar, and so I can't just necessarily leave free transports down here. So this will help just mitigate some of the headaches that comes out of here, and I've got nothing better to do, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to build 2 infantry and a tank down here for India. I'm going to be putting this tank out here, and it's a good chance it could die versus Japan or Germany, and I really want to have a tank free to be able to blitz in the future, whether it's blitzing up this way or blitzing out this way. We'll just have to see, but I want to have that freedom when it comes about. So otherwise, I'm building a destroyer, a carrier, and a fighter for up here in the Atlantic, so that I'll be able to have 2 groups of 2 carriers, 3 fighters, and a destroyer split up to defend against the 4 bombers. Into the Sea Zone 7 and Sea Zone 13, bringing back a couple of my fighters here, obviously. And yeah, that'll give me 2 that can defend and then can come back together next turn if he builds air, and then we can just have a dominant fleet up here. I don't need to build a lot of units because I'm planning on having 2 units to evacuate, so I'm going to have a transport here, and then I'm going to have units that come down and attack that I can bring back with me, so I don't need to have a full complement of 8 units sitting here this turn. Might as well use as much attack power as I can. Oh, come on. Hit the click zone. There we go. Now I'm building one fighter, so I can only use one of these fighters down here, because the other two are going to need to come up to C-Zone 7, so I gotta be careful about that. And I'm going to bring in two fighters from here up to C-Zone 13, which that then means that they can't attack 1, 2, 3. They can't attack Gibraltar, but 5 units against this 2. Hopefully I can get away with only 1 loss coming out of there. We're not attacking anything there. We're not going to attack anything there. And I have my fingers crossed. I've spun around 5 times. I'm making sure I'm facing east, and just did all my dice god prayers not to have a repeat of the last time attacking Persia. I could bring these in to help Gibraltar, but I think I want to just send these this direction, and any leakage that might occur, I'll have something here in South Africa. I thought about bringing just the infantry and just having one go, but we're just going to have them both march that way with the Americans. Just double checking I'm not forgetting anything. Alright, and here we go. Yeah, good. 1 hit. Okay. So that means for my 4 transports, I will have 3 units, 4, 5, 6 units, plus 2 here that I'm going to be able to salvage. So I have my 8 units will be, my 4 transports will be fully loaded next turn. Ugh. I sure wish these would go smoother. Okay, there we go. That makes me feel better there. There we go. That's a big battle. I think that might be a huge turning point. So, I mean, now I've got 10 units here. He can bring 6, 7 units of Japan this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even those bombers can't reach. So we are pretty well secured there. I'm going to go ahead and move that AA gun up. So that's my rescue transport. I'm going to go ahead and bring one back. I'm going to risk the 1v1 battle. If he actually gets a hit, then he'll be able to blitz. Oh well. I could leave him up there, but I'd rather just make him work what I can. Him on to this grouping. So we should have a loaded carrier. We're dropping a carrier, a fighter, and a destroyer. That should be good. We should have 3 fighters, 2 carriers, and a destroyer. Very well. This does give me a chance to threaten Italy too, although I highly doubt I'm going there, but it's a possibility. Them up. Anybody? Alright, I think that's it. Much better result in Persia this time. After that round, I'm feeling much better overall, unless I'm missing something, which isn't entirely impossible. I am going to double check my defense profile. I want to go ahead and have fighter before carrier, because I think I feel pretty good about those odds up there in both these fleets. And there we go.
Okay, so after that last turn, my opponent's schedule got real life schedule got pretty busy. Difficult for him to take some turns, and upon looking closer at the board, he decided to go ahead and resign. So that this is a allies victory for me. And it's unfortunate. I mean, I certainly understand when life gets in the way. It's why I don't play ranked games hardly anymore ever, just because I timed out of a gosh 4, 5, 6 of them in the last few times I tried playing, and just life gets in the way. So I get it. I do think this was a pretty heavy allies flavor board. We had secured Persia. He wasn't going to be taking that back. He may have tried to make a march to grab these production centers with Germany, but they would have gone to Japan. So I don't think. I think this is a Allies win anyways. So that game's resolved. So we are now going to be heading into the next round of the tournament, which I'll bring this on up here. So this is coming in right in here. We are just had our victory against Blitzkrieg, going to be heading into facing Snake Plissken in the Sweet 16. And you can see a couple people have already advanced. And we'll be moving right along. So this is kind of a, I don't want to say revenge game, a rematch game that in the pool play of this is Snake is the one that gave me my one loss in the pool play, making me have to work up from the lower seed. And that particular game was if you watched one of my puzzle videos, I referred to that Russia 2. He put pressure on heavy pressure right off the bat with Germany. Russia 2, I went for a strafe on Ukraine and it got really bad dice, and it just I forfeited at that point. There just wasn't any hope. I got tons of respect for Snake. I played him a few times over the years, and they've always been very very good games, entertaining games. He's definitely an outside the box thinker, so you gotta take a second and watch for any sneaky moves in there. So looking forward to this match. We're gonna be recording it coming up, and watch for the videos to drop.